Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. Here we might be getting the TikTok back soon, so that'd be good news. But no channel, as you guys know, works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. And man, crypto is going parabolic right now. This has certainly been an exciting week. My name is Ben. We come to you live every single day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is Tuesday, March 29th. It's 75 degrees here in the BitBoy Crypto studio. We added our NFT frame. Do we have all the NFTs in there? I don't think we do.
Not sure.
No, we got to add, we got a new mutant ape. I think we have 2 mutant apes now. We were able to mutate my bored ape, well, we're going to be doing that. We haven't done it yet. We do have a mutant ape that's not on here, and I don't know what else we have that's not on there. We got a few more that we'll be adding on, but you guys can check out our NFT portfolio as the show goes on. And I did want to say real quick, guys, just a reminder, that is not what I wanted. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Trying to pull this Diplo. I thought it was on Eventbrite, wasn't it? Diplo Bitcoin 2022. Here it is. The Bitcoin Miami kickoff party. Did just want to give you guys a reminder. I have a promo code for you guys today. If you're interested in going to this, it is the Bitcoin Miami Bitcoin 2022 kickoff party. It's on Wednesday, April 6th. Starts at 9 p.m. That's a little early to get to the club, I think, right? Don't you get there at like 11?
Yeah.
I'm out of the club game. But it's going to be huge. There's going to be a Diplo there. Bass jackers. It's not bass jackers. They're not fishermen, I think. Bass jackers. And I think there's a guy, Shepard Fairley maybe is going to be there. I don't even know who that is. Wait, isn't that an artist? Shepard Fairley. Isn't that the Obey guy?
I have no idea.
I think so. I think it is, because I'm pretty sure that I saw a Netflix documentary about him. Yeah, he's the artist that makes the Made Obey.
Interesting.
So anyways, he'll be there too. But guys, if you want to do that, you guys can let me drop this link in the chat for people. I think I can do it, actually. Let me do this real quick. I'll drop it in the chat and I'll pin it for you guys to be able to see. There we go. So if you guys are interested, and the promo code is BitBoy Crypto. They got several different packages and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, there we go. That is done. All right. 1.45 million subscribers here for BitBoy Crypto. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We're giving away 4 passes for the Bitcoin conference. All you got to do is visit the link on our pinned tweet on Twitter. Take you to this Gleam link here where you sign up for a few things. Only 149 people have retweeted this, which means you've got a decent shot to win. And, we didn't talk about this, TJ, or it makes sense, I think, maybe to do 2 and 2, right? We pick 2 winners.
Sure.
And give them 2 tickets.
One winner gets 2, another winner gets 2.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That makes sense. And if for whatever reason, maybe if you don't want the second one, then you can let us know if you'll go by yourself, and then we can pick another person to give one to. So the important thing is we want people to go to this, and I think you're going to get to sit at a VIP table with me because we have 8 passes together, and those are part of the ones that TJ and I have, our whale passes. So, all right, guys, don't forget to check out the Gleam link. Check out BitBoy_Crypto, dad jokes for the win, but the markets. Let's talk about the markets today because they are really looking good. And the important thing is we've held yesterday. We topped over 48K for Bitcoin, and we have held very steadily for the last 24 hours. $2.165 trillion in market cap. Bitcoin reached a yearly high yesterday, so the year-to-date high. I want to check out the market cap here, and let's see the last time we were at numbers this high in overall market cap. So we are basically at a high that we've not been at since probably the end of December. Wait, is that right? Yeah. Or no, the beginning of January. So the beginning of January, overall market cap was a little bit bigger. But look at the way that it's climbing over here. This is what I find so interesting. If you look at the way that it's climbing, it looks very similar to back here. And it looks very similar to right here. Steady upswing kind of right here as well. That goes all the way back to February 2021. It looks like this is not a spike. This looks like this is really strong momentum building. We had talked about how 39,000 is the number one price point that Bitcoin has exchanged hands at in its history. So that 39K support is very strong now. The 24-hour volume is high at $1.22 billion. Bitcoin, what's that?
Ethereum ticked up a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to pull that up. I think it's over 3,500.
I just mean that it's up at 19%. It was sitting at
it was 18.9 yesterday.
For a while.
Yeah. It's been in the 18s for a good bit. Guys, crypto is so narrative-based, in my opinion. It really is. The narratives come alive if you look at the DeFi summer of 2020. You look at the first NFT craze. You look at each individual project that's big layer ones like Cardano or Solana or Avalanche. It's like they all get a time to shine, right? And this is Ethereum's time to start shining. The narrative is moving back to Ethereum. We haven't done a lot of Ethereum content in the last several months. Things have been a little boring with it. We haven't even been showing the ETH charts, every day. Well, maybe Frank is touching on it a little bit now. But when I was doing the charts, we weren't looking at it anymore because people just weren't interested in it. And the numbers reflected that. We're starting to see that reversal. And I do have a big announcement. I did get in touch with Raoul Pal. He will be coming on the show for an interview next month. So if you want to talk about somebody that's bullish on Ethereum, you are talking about Raoul Pal.
Yeah.
What's that?
No, I just said, yeah, that's going to be good.
There are certain people that I just really like in crypto. Michael Saylor is one. I think because we're so opposite, I'm super fascinated by him.
You mean because he's just kind of like a stand-up comic, always making jokes, never serious?
Yeah, I did get 3 laughs out of him in the last interview. So I 3x'd my previous number. So I was really bullish. But Raoul Pal is definitely another one of those guys. I don't know of anybody that really doesn't like Raoul Pal. Maybe some of the Bitcoin maxis don't like him. But outside of that, he just is a very likable, knowledgeable guy. He's very balanced and well-rounded. So that's exciting news. 27 Paraguays will send you an e-transaction. Let's get into these prices. 47,866. Let me refresh and make sure we got the latest number. We're up a little bit. It is amazing to me how much this has hung out between 47.8 and 48,000.
Yeah.
In that $200 range, it will get there and just get wedged. And we're going to look at some resistance levels here in a few minutes that you can start looking at. Ethereum, I think it did go over 35 at some point. Let me take a look at that and double check that before I say that for sure. No, it looks like it did not. It looks like it peaked out at 34.67 for the yearly high here for Ethereum. Right now, it is coming in at 34.38. So still right there in that range. If Bitcoin gets a good bust above 48K, then you're going to see Ethereum go above 3,500. Binance Coin 440, XRP, holding steady, down 1% yesterday. It was 88 cents yesterday, 87 cents today. Cardano holding steady as well. Terra Luna, a new all-time high today, up 12% today. And I don't know what we have to, maybe we can try to interview, is it Doquan or Duquan?
I say Doquan.
I've heard people saying Do. If anyone knows that unequivocally for a fact, you could drop that in the chat. I would appreciate that. And remind me, before we move on to Frank, I have something to say about the UK. Will you remind me of that?
Sure.
I can't forget it.
What were you going to say about Doquan or Duquan?
Get him on the show for an interview.
Have an interview. Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah. Solana up 22% for the week. Avalanche, Polkadot, double-digit gains for the week. Things are going good. Let's check out the biggest gainers of the day. Waves with another resurgence. And my buddy Matt texted me this morning, and he told me that he sold his Waves, basically recovering money from a couple years ago It had been down so much, he finally got it back in profit. He pulled the money. He said, I wish he wouldn't have done that. But the thing he told me that was so interesting is he told me that if you go back, Waves is another one of those projects that generally precludes big Bitcoin pumps. Waves will move and then Bitcoin will move shortly thereafter. The last big move that Waves had was, I think he said it was December of 2020. Like we had one a couple months ago in the bull run, but I'm talking about like when it was going from bearish to bullish. December of 2020, it started moving, and Bitcoin started moving, hit all-time highs right after that. Thorchain, another one, just crushing it. I think we're in profit on Thorchain now.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not all-time highs yet, but it's, I'd say, halfway back from where it was. Like I pulled the chart up real quick, just look at the last 6 months or so. I'd just be curious.
Yeah. 6 months.
I mean, look at that.
We'll go 1 year.
Yeah, see, I think that was the hack back there at the top of that? Back one more?
Hack was over the summer. Yep, this was the hack.
Yeah.
And we told you it was a good time to get in after the hack. And sure enough, that proved to be true. We bought it about here. We bought it, I think, Thanksgiving weekend is when we added a lot. So yeah, so we're in profit. We are in profit right now on it. So I had to pull up the actual portfolio to look at the number, but we're probably up a couple percent, which is good because we've been down on a lot of stuff that we bought during that time, obviously. Then you got Aave, Terra Luna, Compound, some DeFi plays, Filecoin. I do think decentralized storage is going to be huge. Save that for another video. KuCoin shares up big today. Now, this is something, let me just go ahead and bring this up now. This was going to be for the quick hits, but since we're looking at KuCoin, I think it makes more sense to talk about it now. KuCoin is rebranding their token. They're going to be moving to the KuCoin community chain. It's powered by KCS. So maybe it's not a rebrand. Maybe this is just a separate token.
Maybe it's a governance token.
Yeah, something like that. Basically what they're trying to do, they're trying to turn KuCoin into a straight up DAO and make it decentralized completely. This is what I will tell you. We're going to try to get in on this sale, I believe. We should be able to get whitelisted because we use KuCoin a lot. This is what I'll say about it. KuCoin is a great exchange. I love KuCoin. I've loved it ever since the first time I ever used it back in 2017. Yep. Okay. What I will tell you is KuCoin is in serious trouble if the regulators can figure out who they are. Like that's why there has not been cases brought against KuCoin. They don't even know where to send it to because they've done such a great job basically being private. All they know is the founder's name, and it's something like Tommy or something like that. Like the first name, that's all we know. Somebody will put it in the chat probably. But this sale will probably be pretty big, to be honest with you, because the only way that KuCoin will survive over the long term is to become a decentralized exchange. So this is going to be a big push to do this, and I believe that it will ultimately be successful because they've really already decentralized the back end of their company. Nobody knows who it is. Nobody knows where it is. They don't have a real office. So in my opinion, I think this might be something worth exploring for you guys that do especially use KuCoin. I think it will be successful. And of course, you guys know we don't do any sponsor content. I've never had any deal with KuCoin or anything like that. So 100% honest opinion here. I think there could be something big in this KCC token. So they had a tweet about it. KCC official. If you want to go check out their Twitter and you can follow along. Let's see. Early bird registration is open. I don't see a date. You see a date on it? I don't see a date. So I don't know when it starts, but something I'm definitely interested in. All right, moving on here to a couple stories. Bitcoin nearing 200-day moving average ahead of seasonally bullish period.
I think it might have just crossed it. What was the price there?
No, it looks like it's like 48.2. Is it above 48?
No. It wicked above 48, but it's right at 48 right now.
Oh, it's back at 47.8. Yeah. So that 48 may be some decent resistance. It's having a hard time getting over it right now, but short term, long term, it's not going to be hard, I don't think. But the Bitcoin is nearing the 200-day average, and a lot of your more bearish people are saying this is what it's got to get above in order to make them feel bullish. This will be, if you really look at when this thing went below the 200-day, it's going to work out to be about 3 full months below it, which would be really great, which means we probably aren't seeing more bearish action in the short term. Let's see here. Short liquidations. We talked about that yesterday. And then another story, Bitcoin continues to climb toward long-term resistance near $51,000. This is the number to watch. We need to look at $51,000 as kind of the next big target. Of course, $50,000 is a psychological level. So I'm sure there will be something at 50K. But the 50s has been kind of a range that Bitcoin kind of gets up in pretty quick and can move through very quickly and then hold support. We saw that all throughout 2021. When it breached 50K, that's when it would drop like a rock. But when it was above 50K, it definitely showed a lot of resilience. In the May crash, when it went below 51, that's when people started freaking out and panic selling. So what I would say, people are really going crazy about this ETHgate thing. And I'm having a hard time understanding why people care that much about it. I think it's all XRP people really that are really upset about this consensus thing and about the token deal. These XRP people on Twitter, and I say these because it's a group, it's not every person that invests in XRP, obviously, but they really want the SEC to go after Ethereum after the Ripple case is over. That doesn't make any sense. You're using Ethereum as an example of why you're not a security. You're going to finish a case and then you're going to want to go back and say, oh, their token sale was illegal. No, like, guys, we can all make it. We can all succeed. Ethereum and Ripple are both going to succeed. And I refuse to pick. I refuse to say, I'm only going to select one, and this is the one I'm going to go with, and this is going to be the winner. I am only investing in this one specific coin. That's not smart, guys. That's not smart investing. That's not building a balanced and diversified portfolio like we talk about with our BitBoy crypto investing philosophy. So definitely had a little bit of drama on Twitter yesterday. Some people even in the XRP army were upset about what I said about Ethereum. And if you're upset with what I said about Ethereum, then I would really encourage you to consider that, people can hold, mutually exclusive thoughts and still agree with each other on certain issues like XRP. So I just don't think this ETHgate thing, this is just a big rebel rousing. Is that rabble rousing? Is that the phrase?
I don't know.
Rebel rousing? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get people fired up. Hold the SEC accountable. Like, guys, government organization, the only thing that's going to get held accountable to the SEC is when the president strips them of certain powers in crypto and gives it to other organizations. And that's the payoff.
They've already come out and said Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're not going to classify them as securities. They even said maybe at the time, but it's too far gone for us to even do that. So they're not going to go backwards.
They're not going backwards.
No.
If you think after this XRP case with as many resources as they've had to allocate to it, and as long as it's gone on, and with as much bad press as the SEC has had, they're going after easy wins next.
Yeah.
They will not be taking on Ethereum. I can promise you that.
Well, they're going to have their hands full. We're going to get into it a little later in the show, but Grayscale talking about suing the SEC. Yeah. So they're going to have to play some defense probably.
Here in a few minutes. People saying the SEC redacted the statement about ETH. That's the whole thing. They can't. They can't redact it. William Hinman said it on behalf of the company, and there's a ton of emails showing that that's exactly the standpoint that they had. What's going on is SEC is trying to get it to where the judge doesn't count that as evidence in the case. That's why they're trying to walk it back. They're just trying to walk it back in this case specifically to try to go after Ripple on the offensive. This is not about them, really they're going to go after Ethereum now. Like, if you think the SEC is going after Ethereum after this debacle, then you're delusional. I'm sorry. There's 0% chance they're going after Ethereum. Now, does that mean that they wouldn't go after, consensus or some kind of, something, a DApp on Ethereum? Yeah, of course they probably will. Maybe not consensus, but, with DApps, or there might be things on Ethereum they go after, but they will not be going after Ethereum. It is far too decentralized to put back into the house here. It is in fact pronounced Do Kwon. So I was right. Do Kwon. Who's been saying Do Kwon?
I have no idea.
Somebody I've been watching has been saying Do Kwon. And it's throwing me off. So real quick, before we bring Frank up, I do just want to address one thing. And TJ is going to love this.
Oh, nice.
He loves when I grovel.
I don't know if this is sarcasm.
No, you are. You're well, I don't know. You're going to love it, I think. So I said some things about my heritage in the UK maybe last week. And I said, I'm ashamed to be, have ancestors in the UK. And that offended one family specifically to watch my channel every single day. And they sent me a message on Instagram, and they said they had to explain to their kids like why I don't like the UK. And that's not true. My heritage does come from the UK. Okay. It's a joke. The beef with the UK and the beef with Canada on the show is a joke. It's not serious. I love people from Canada. I know a lot of great people from Canada. Love Tom McDonald. I was wearing my Tom McDonald shirt at home this morning. He's from Canada. I love plenty of people from Canada. Justin Trudeau, we can, leave him out with the trash, of course. Don't like the government in Canada, obviously, for a lot of reasons. UK government, I think it's kind of fun, right? Their parliament, right? It's still like they're trapped in the 1700s over there with it. But what I would say is maybe I said that in the wrong way and it sounded like, if I was from the UK, I'd hate it. I was just saying that because I talk so much, I make jokes about soccer and different things. That's why. It's like, that's where I'm actually from, So I do just want to say, like, if I've offended anyone, we love our UK viewers for sure. We love viewers from any place. If you're in the BitSquad, you are loved on this channel for sure. So definitely don't, if you are not attacking us and trolling us and you're in this community, we love you. If you do attack and troll us, it's a different thing. And if I ever do offend somebody, try to send me a message and let me know, because I didn't even realize I had said that. I say a lot of things on the show. I do have a slippery tongue. Is that a good way to say that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, it's DZ who keeps saying Duquan. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So anyways, I hope that family comes back and watch the channel. And I'm sorry to your kids. I love you.
You want to say God Save the Queen real quick for us?
God Save the Queen.
There we go.
I will say.
All right.
Yeah. And Frankie Candles, come on up. Let's check out the charts here.
There we go.
What did that person say? They said, I'm from the UK. What does that say? Scroll up a little bit. You can continue, Frank. I'll just let him scroll.
What's going on, everybody? Well, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. We do have a lot to cover here on Bitcoin. It's this trading view window behind yours, right? That I got to use?
Oh, I have to pull that up. Guys, this is a tech channel. Frank is a technical trader. He has no idea what he's doing on a computer, though. So I don't know what that says about...
No, we're gonna have this fixed too, so we don't have to do it. It'll fit.
Wonderful.
It'll fit better starting next week.
All right, guys. So we are going to start here on. I am just going to bring this up briefly. We talked about this yesterday, but
there it is.
Yep. It is worth bringing up again here. On the 2-week chart, we do have the VWAP crossing up over the 0 line, printing this green dot on the momentum wave. This has got me feeling good, for the medium term, right? This is kind of my longer term sentiment. This has got me feeling good, to reach this golden pocket at about 55K. This 2-week VWAP crossover is, very big. That's not to say that we can't just roll back over and come back below, but typically these 2-week VWAP crossovers are very, very bullish. So just wanted to start there on the macro a little bit. Now let's go ahead and hop into the daily. And let me just resize here. Okay. And yeah, so we are indeed coming up to this 200-day moving average. We just kissed it right here, starting to come down a little bit. To be expected, right? When you come up to that 200-day moving average, you would expect some decent resistance. Now, I am going to bring up a couple of key levels that I am watching right now. But first, let's just come down. I do want to point out, okay, so on the 1 hour, we were... let me do a quick little refresh here. Just update things. Bada boom. Okay. So let's go back to the 1 hour. Now we are... These are kind of the levels I'm looking at here. We do have the VWAP coming down on the 1 hour, right? No bearish divergence or anything, so I don't think we're going to come down too hard, but maybe we come down and test this line one more time before coming up. But the next level I am watching is right here at about 51. I mean, this line is at exactly 51.9. I'm not going to stick exactly to the 51.9 number. Let's just go up to the 4 hour to zoom out a little bit. But this is kind of the next level of resistance that I see. We have been coming up pretty aggressively. So, It's funny, in these bullish environments, you keep thinking, the pullback has got to come. There's got to be a pullback coming, right? But we do have this 4-hour VWAP on its way up to cross above the zero line, right? Which typically you get a move to the upside. So I do think there is a chance that we actually come up a little closer to 51,000 before coming back down to possibly test this level again, or maybe even down here, test the top of the ascending triangle once again. This white box of support and resistance right here. The top of this box is at about 44K. So I am thinking with this 4-hour VWAP crossover, this could bring us up for one more leg up closer to 51K, or I would say probably closer to 50K, because as Ben was talking about, that is going to act as a very strong psychological resistance, or we could see some psychological resistance there. Those even numbers do tend to be pretty strong, as a lot of people have orders set at these prices. So probably with that 4-hour VWAP crossover, we're going to get a little closer to 50 before coming down and getting a nice little healthy correction, right? Because you got to come down before to make a little bit of room before you get another leg up. So that's kind of what I'm keeping my eye on here. Right now, strong support levels, right? I would say 44K, very, very, very strong support. If we did happen to break that, and God forbid we come back into this triangle, we do have 42K that would act as very, very strong support. I don't think we're going to come down and see 42, but, in the case that we do come back into this triangle, that 42K level will be very strong. But, my next level of support that I would see if we get past this red line is this 44K level. And maybe we come down, either correct to this line or come down to that 44K level before continuing up. But guys, I mean, for the most part, I'm feeling pretty good. Things are looking good. Things are feeling good. That 2-week VWAP crossover is very, very bullish. And, we're thick in the green with the money flow here on the 4-hour. Daily, same kind of thing. Still early in this daily money flow crossover. Even if we see this come down a little bit, you can easily, daily VWAP starting to come down. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see a little better. Daily VWAP coming down to cross below that zero line. That is probably where we're going to see our little pullback. But, that VWAP kind of does its thing. It could come below, come back up, and then, the money flow might just come down and then curve right back up to make a higher high. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then I know Ben covered it. I did just want to take a look at Rune, guys. This thing, I was talking about this on my stream last night.
Unbelievable.
This thing will not stop. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, even from here, right? You came up, you tested the top of this resistance, corrected not even all the way to the bottom, broke out, tested the top of this resistance, came back not even to the bottom, and then you broke up. This thing is just stair-stepping its way up.
We would sure hate for something to ruin this pump.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think anything's going to ruin Rune. So it doesn't seem like it wants to stop at all. So congratulations to those of you holding Rune and Waves. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Looking at about 50K for the next level of resistance, and then 44 as strong support, just levels to keep your eye on. That's all I got. Bing bong.
Love it. Love it. Bingy bongy. I see a lot of conversation, a lot of chats about saying if you love America, you can't be pro crypto.
What?
Guys, being patriotic is not about loving your government. Being patriotic is about loving your country and the people that live in your country. And that's what we do here at this channel. We love America. We love the people of America. The government, like almost any government in the world, we would throw away in a heartbeat.
I was just about to say, I'm pretty anti most government.
Yeah.
Or government expansion anyway. We'd like to see governments get smaller, not bigger.
But I can tell you, I was designed to live in America. I know that. For sure. And I think that's where a little bit of the confusion comes on when I'm ribbing the other countries, I think. I do love America so much. I do. But I don't love our government. I don't like the SEC. I don't like the president. I don't like a lot of people that exist in the government. I don't like the corruption. I don't like Nancy Pelosi. I don't want to just name drop like one Democrat. I think it was Kelly Loeffler was doing insider trading as well, based on the pandemic in the beginning of it. I think maybe, was it Lindsey Graham that was involved in that too? I can't remember if it was him or somebody else. There were several of them from both sides of the aisle that, have been insider trading for years.
I'll say it like this. If you know their name, they've probably done something shady.
I would say that's not necessarily true because I think the 10% of politicians that are good, you do hear their name a lot because the media destroys them. Because
I did say probably.
Yeah.
There's exceptions, but
well, I mean, if
generally
you name a
speaking,
politician, probably they're a scammer.
Right.
You know, if you just name one,
right.
there's a 90% chance you're, naming somebody that's bought off. So when the whole system is built on raising money to run for office, then that's where all the corruption really comes in. So, all right, here, moving in.
Speaking of politics,
Biden pitches largest tax hike in history as part of $5.8 trillion budget request. Now, this is something we talked about last year, TJ. We never really actually figured it out, where we talked about the budget and then trying to figure out like how much of that budget are they printing. Be interested to see if that's in this story here. President Biden made a renewed push on Monday to galvanize congressional Democrats to overhaul the nation's tax code, raise rates on corporations and ultra wealthy Americans. That is all a sham. Y'all know that, right? The only people they protect are those people. Right. So who do you think starts all the corporate loopholes? The politicians. They use them first, and then the corporations find out about them. President laid out the tax hikes as part of his $5.8 trillion budget blueprint for federal spending. Taxes would rise by $2.5 trillion, making the largest increase in history in dollar terms. The deficit would be $1.15 trillion. So $2.5 trillion of that, almost $6 trillion, coming in from taxes. Higher taxes would largely be borne by Wall Street and the top sliver of U.S. households.
That's so not true.
It's not true, guys. Not true. Let's see, minimum 20%. Those pitches fell to the wayside. Joe Manchin collapsed. Joe Manchin is one that really interests me. Like, I think he's probably, look, I don't know the guy. I'm making up just stuff that I, like, looking at the situation, it almost seems to me like he's got to be paid off. And the reason why I would say that is he's always the swing vote, and he votes against his own party. And you got to think that's what the people, that's what the corporations, the institutions want. They want no change. They don't want things to change. So when somebody comes and offers a new, some kind of new plan, you get somebody from their own party to shut it down because they have all the votes. That's why if you look at what happened in the first few years of Trump's presidency, he didn't get anything done at all. He had the House, the Senate, he had everything, but he still didn't get hardly anything done those first 2 years. And when you look at the Democrats with Joe Biden, it's been the same thing. It's been the same thing. Even though they've got everything, they can't really get anything passed. Weird, isn't it? It's almost like it's all for show. So-called billionaire minimum income tax. I would love to pay that.
Well, you want to hear a fun fact on that? Yeah. You might get to a lot sooner than you think. The billionaire tax, I believe, applies to anybody with over $100 million or more.
Oh.
So you don't have to be a billionaire to qualify for the billionaire tax. You only have to be 1/10 of a billionaire.
That's so stupid. Yeah. Let's see. The wealthiest Americans would be required if a billionaire is not paying 20% of their income. Guys, all they're going to do is use more loopholes to hide the money. That's why all of these like net worths of people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are still tied up in their stocks.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm trying to look if it says the number. It doesn't say the number that they're going to print. That's what I'm always the most interested in, is how much of this they plan to print when we're supposed to be going through a quantitative tightening, not quantitative easing. They're pulling $2.5 trillion from taxes. Where's the other $3.3 trillion coming from? I don't believe all of it will be coming from printing, but so I saw somebody say $1.5 trillion was going to get printed. That number probably makes sense.
It does sound about right. But what gets me is we're always increasing budgets. We're always raising taxes, and we've seen literally nothing that gives us any indication. Like, we give them $10 trillion.
Yeah.
But it's going to still get wasted.
You're still giving it to the government. Right. Like, guys, let's be for real here. It doesn't, like, if you are someone who is a billionaire, like, you don't want the government using your money because they're going to waste it. They would have a much better time. Elon Musk, even, you guys know I don't like him, he would even have a better time actually doing something positive with that money as opposed to giving it to the government and letting them waste it and spend them on themselves, So let's check out what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. There are talks of a possible ceasefire. Of course, that's going to affect the markets in a dramatic way if that were to occur. And I think what we're looking at now, if that did happen, it would be really, be really bullish. Just like we looked at invasions, bullish for price, bad for humanity. A ceasefire, or at least some kind of agreement, I think would do a lot for the market right now in the short term. Supposedly, I heard that they were somewhere in Ukraine, like they had the Russians surrounded. I thought it was in maybe Kyiv, if I remember correctly. Russian and Ukrainian envoys were expected to brief reporters. Let's see here. Diplomats from Ukraine and Russia were discussing a possible ceasefire on Tuesday in talks in Turkey. You know, I hope they don't go to sleep. You know, always go to sleep after Turkey. An effort that comes as a Ukrainian counteroffensive pushed back Russian forces in a hard-fought area near Kyiv. I've heard that Kiev is derogatory towards Ukrainians. That's what the Russians call it, but it's actually Kyiv. I don't know. Somebody said that. I can't remember if it was in the chat. I'll try to remember that. So anyways, guys, that's what's going on here. And there were reports of old Roman Abramovich, you know, possibly getting poisoned. But supposedly they're saying that the intelligence are saying that that's not true. Was that Russian intelligence saying that? Or our intelligence?
I have no idea.
It's Russian intelligence. I don't think you can really. What's that, Johnny? The negotiators of the peace talks. Okay, I'm sure there's not any paying off, you know, in that either. You just can't. What can you trust these days?
Nothing.
The BitBoy Crypto YouTube channel.
There you go.
BitBoy Crypto YouTube channel. All right, Grayscale gears up for legal battle with SEC over Bitcoin ETF. I think all options are on the table. Grayscale CEO says they're putting its full resources into converting its flagship Bitcoin trust. Grayscale CEO Michael Sonnenschein. And you know, I always wonder when we see stories about this, I always wonder if these are dog whistles. Like, we got Raoul Pal talking about we're going to get an ETF approved in April, possibly one in May. And now you've got Grayscale saying, well, if we don't get approved, we're going to sue, you know, because this needs to be done. I don't know, is this kind of them signaling to people that are in the know, like, all right, guys, this approval is coming soon, actually? Like, this is them, like, posturing. You know, I wonder about that stuff sometimes. You know, when we talk about you can't trust anybody. Obviously, Digital Currency Guru runs almost all of crypto, including CoinDesk, the number two behind Cointelelie, crypto media publication, and they run that. So you got to think about how when things are narrative driven, like we talked about earlier, how much they can control things. So, you know, this could be something that is actually precluding an approval, in my opinion. I definitely think we shouldn't rule that out. I think all options are on the table when talking about if it is denied by the SEC. It's the SEC, right? Yeah, the SEC is who determines these ETFs. Grayscale team has been putting the full resources of our firm behind converting GBTC, our flagship fund, into an ETF. It's really important that investors know that we have and will continue to advocate for them. So they're really trying to kind of portray themselves as white knights in crypto, which they do have for people that know a reputation problem. Most people don't know in crypto what Grayscale is or Digital Currency Group, but you know, I think they do know there is a little bit of pushback against them from at least me and some other people out there. So, you know, maybe this is something they're trying to like, look, we're here for the community. Didn't Michael Sonnenschein or Barry Silbert, one of them tweeted something recently. Do you remember what it was? Like something that was like kind of that white knightish thing?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
It was Barry Silbert, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think we might have even talked about it on the show. But speaking of those dog whistle signals, some of that kind of stuff, he also alluded to something with Ethereum. I can't remember what it was.
I think that was what it was. I think that was the tweet. Let's see. If you don't know why Bitcoin's going up, you're not paying attention. He doesn't tweet that much, so we can probably find it.
I think it was last week sometime.
Over 2,600 now. It might have been a reply too, so it might have been. May not be able to find it. Wasn't it about Zeke privacy coins or something? 1 month left. A lot of people asking for crypto tax videos. By the way,
yeah,
I think we're probably going to have to do one here pretty soon. How many of you guys would like a crypto tax video? Can you put that poll up?
Sure.
So, Yeah, I think it was a reply to somebody else. I can't remember what it was, but they're out here white knighting for people, trying to say, we're going to fight back against the SEC if we get denied. So, maybe this is a dog whistle. Maybe it's going to come pretty quick. This was not, the Grayscale ETF was not one of the two that Raoul Pal indicated he thought were going to get approved, I believe. I think those were, is it the Van Eck maybe? Can't remember which ones. He said two of them. There's so many. You heard about this new company that just bought $200 billion worth of, or $200 million worth of Bitcoin? Macro strategy.
I like it.
Led by Michael Driver. Michael Seaman.
Oh gosh.
Michael Seaman. Mike Seaman.
Should have stuck with Driver.
What's that?
Should have stuck with Driver.
Yeah, I probably should have. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it. Macro strategy to buy 200 million Bitcoin. I told you can't trust anybody, but this is from a company called Trust Nodes. You can trust everything except for the first word in their article. Obviously, that's supposed to say micro strategy. I hope to get to meet Michael Saylor. Well, maybe he'll invite me over to his house. I hear that's a fun
Macro
thing.
Strategy subsidiary.
Oh, it is. Oh, that is correct then.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Wow, I guess you can trust them. Wow, I had not. Has anybody else heard of this? Wow, how about that? Everybody wants a tax video. I guess we'll have to do that. MacroStrategy, a subsidiary of MicroStrategy, has taken out a Bitcoin collateralized loan of $205 million. It was issued by Silvergate Bank and is secured by certain Bitcoin held in MacroStrategy's collateral account. You can't with the names of the subsidiary.
That's pretty funny.
That is hilarious. MacroStrategy will use the loan proceeds to purchase Bitcoin. And you want to talk about what we were saying earlier, the billionaires, hiding the money through legal loopholes and things like that. Why do you think they're doing this through a subsidiary and not through the parent company? There's advantages to have many companies and to spread your assets around there. I mean, they're not doing anything wrong. They're just taking advantage of the system that they were handed to by the government. But, this is an example of what we were talking about earlier. The SEN leverage loan gives us an opportunity to further our position as a leading public company investor in Bitcoin. And something I think that is very interesting here. Look at this. It'll probably occur on Coinbase. So that means that it's going to be reflected in the market cap numbers. Very curious to see how old Do Kwon is going to buy all that Bitcoin. Like, is that going to be OTC or is that going to be reflected in the volume? OTC does not get reflected in the volume of coin market cap, just so you guys know. A lot of people think there's a lot of wash trading in crypto. I think those two things tend to balance each other out. So I think probably market cap is probably pretty close to what it should be when you look at the numbers, because you're losing market cap from OTC and you're gaining it from wash trading. And like I said, I think they basically negate each other. But this is very interesting. Was there a tweet? Did Michael Saylor tweet about this? I wonder. How interesting is they're doing it through Silvergate? They're not doing it through a traditional, like Celsius or BlockFi or something like that. Or is this something we're going to see? More of these kind of Silvergate is not small.
I was going to say, that's bigger than Celsius and those kind of things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me because of the size. Like Silvergate is the one who does bank Coinbase and Gemini and some of those.
Yeah.
So if you're talking hundreds of millions, not too surprising.
Yeah. Know a guy that works on the taxes for Coinbase or works on some kind of financial stuff for Coinbase through Silvergate. So, I didn't realize these two companies were really that connected, but they are. Coinbase, I guess, is a customer of Silvergate. So very interesting stuff. And I tell you, if you ever have problems with your bank, you need to move over to crypto-friendly banks. We love Signature Bank. That's who we use in New York City. Silvergate, definitely a good option. Silvergate, I don't think had exactly what we were looking for in a business account.
Yeah, it's not great for individuals.
Yeah,
you have to be 7 figures plus to start. Yeah,
it's actually more for people that have crypto companies.
Right.
So like Coinbase qualifies. If you have a development company, that would qualify. When we talked to them, like YouTube wasn't something they were real like we talk about crypto. We don't do crypto, I guess is the best way to say it.
Right.
We are in the community. We're in the orbit of crypto. It's all we talk about. Somebody said, every time I talk about crypto, the price dumps. Well, I talk about crypto almost 24/7. So give me credit when it goes up too. Apparently the price just dropped a little bit. Have you been taking a look?
Barely. I mean, it's gone down a ton.
Oh, it's dumping. Oh, it's dumping. It dropped from 47.8 to 47.3. You couldn't have lasted 5 minutes in 2018. That's what I'll tell y'all.
Yeah, I saw
if this scares you, and you say, "Oh, Moon Boy, it's dumping," then, bro, tell me you're brand new to crypto without telling me you're brand new to crypto.
Yeah.
What is that? A 0.25% dump? Oh, 0.25%. Down 0.6% in the last 24 hours. Now it just dropped another $100. Now shoot, let's get off this page before it really does dump. Okay, where are we here? We are at this story here. House Committee Chair proposes privacy-preserving digital currency. Talked about this a little bit on Around the Blockchain yesterday. Representative Lynch. Now, what is her first name? Did not say it in the article I saw yesterday.
Meryl.
What is her name? I'm going to have to search for it because I can't find it. Lynch. Stephen Lynch. Oh, it's a guy. I thought it was I don't know why I thought it was a woman. I could have sworn that article said it was a female senator, but whatever. It's Stephen Lynch is his name. The Electronic Currency and Secure Hardware Act directs the U.S. Treasury to develop and pilot digital dollar technologies that replicate the privacy-respecting features of physical cash. Under the bill, the Treasury would create a new form of digital cash called e-cash without the intrusiveness of a central bank digital currency. Now, I believe e-cash was the first...
One of the first more moderately successful, attempts at crypto before blockchain.
And was that David Chaum?
It might have been, yeah.
I think that was David Chaum, maybe with the eCash. Basically, it tried to be Bitcoin before Bitcoin. Also, eGold, Nick Szabo, and then you had David Chaum. I think his was eCash or DigiCash. They saw this coming a long time before we actually got to Bitcoin. According to the eCash website, the currency is designed and administered to replicate the anonymity and privacy-respecting features of physical cash to the greatest extent reasonably and practically possible. Wow, it's like almost like the politicians are starting to wake up to the fact that if we move to a digital dollar and it's not done correctly, then people are going to be able to see where they're getting all their money from and where they're spending all their money and how they're buying all those vacation homes with bribe money. So, in contrast to ledger-based systems, which prevent double spending, let's see, eCash devices verify funds locally via dedicated. They are just trying to make this as controlled as possible. Yep. What's interesting is it's almost like they're trying to say, we want it to be safer like cash. But I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what the bill is accomplishing is the opposite. It's more of the same. It's the privacy for the people that want the privacy from the politicians, but it's not open source, it's not permissionless, which kind of defeats a big part of the purpose of crypto. 100%. Now, this is not a privacy coin, though. That's not what they're saying. Just really interesting stuff. I think ultimately this is going to not push through because I think the people in the know already know we're already heading toward a digital dollar. And I think they already know how they want it done. They've had several conversations. The Fed has not came out and made a position, so to speak, on a digital dollar, but we are getting a digital dollar. I mean, the digital yuan launching is basically a sure sign of that. And this will be coming, I believe, is going to be USDC. Tons of reasons for it. I came up with this theory all on my own. What, TJ? Did you laugh?
I did laugh, yeah.
Why?
Because I think I told you that theory I can't even remember when, a long time ago.
Back in 2014, probably.
Yeah, I think it was more like 19 or early, maybe 2020 sometime.
Somebody find the launch date of USDC and we can prove him empirically wrong here.
Yeah.
No, TJ has had this theory and I've really warmed up to it.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I think this is going to happen is they've already set it up. Jerome Powell already said in September of 2020, or maybe it was early October, at the Fed meeting, he said, we are open to the private sector, or it's public sector. Private sector is government. Public sector is regular businesses. The public sector contributing to help create the digital dollar and to work with blockchain. So they've already opened it up to put it in the hands of people that know what they're doing to build it. And USDC is going to, I think, completely knock out Tether here in probably the next 5 years or so, if not more dramatic. If something dramatic doesn't happen before that, which certainly, could happen.
Which is also USDC created by Circle,
Yep.
which is owned by Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. And we tell you guys over and over again, if you are in Tether, you should be moving out into USDC or other stable coins. I don't believe if something dramatic happens with Tether, I don't think your money is at jeopardy, to be honest with you. I think it will be done in a way to where you're able to withdraw your funds, similar to what we've seen from other exchanges. You'll have a window period. I don't think it's going to tank below $1 or anything like that, but you never know. I think better safe than sorry. When you got USDC that is plugged in with Circle and Goldman Sachs and, Coinbase, obviously, plugged in with the government, plugged in with the SEC. SEC having meetings with Coinbase to help direct crypto regulation. You kind of see where all this is going. I would just rather you guys move out of Tether and into USDC or another stable coin. But USDC is definitely what I believe to be your top bet there. All right, moving on. We'll skip this one here. NFT adoption. Tokens take the runway at Metaverse Fashion Week. The hotel I'm staying at, September 26, 2018 was the launch date of USDC. So maybe it was 2019, DJ. The hotel I'm staying at in Miami, which I will not be telling you what hotel it is, they were having like an NFT kickoff party at the hotel starting tomorrow, actually, which I won't get there till Monday, so I'll miss the whole party. But that was interesting. It's a big chain hotel. And some people have been asking if we're going to do a meetup in Miami. We're probably not doing a structured meetup because we're trying to keep our schedule very flexible.
Yeah.
But certainly if we see you guys at the conference or you see us, come talk to us. I expect to probably spend hours talking to people. Generally, it happens at every single conference. It is weird. There will be other people there that will have, comparable followings to us. And we're always they always surround us and just do not leave us, the community, because they love this channel. They love talking to me and I love talking to them as well. And I stay and I talk to every single person. Yeah. And TJ hates that when I do that.
No, I don't hate that.
Well, we get stuck. We'll be stuck for 4 hours sometimes.
Yeah, we do get stuck.
But this is what it's all about. You know?
Exactly. And we might, if there's a certain area or we know we're going to be hanging out here for 2 or 3 hours, we'll probably put a tweet out that says where we are. Yeah. So just subscribe or follow the Twitter and keep an eye on that.
Absolutely. Somebody said, scroll up a little bit on the basement. Oh. Down just a little bit. Right there. Oh, Ben is always refreshed because he stays at La Quinta. It's not La Quinta. That's what I used to call it when I was younger. La Quinta was the hotel that I stayed at when I worked for Home Depot, when I traveled a lot. I was 22. And it was in the budget, it was $60 a night. And it was the best $60 a night hotel. And I took my wife there one time after we were married. And she said, no, we do not stay at the La Quinta. All right, the metaverse may be an emerging concept, but the impact the virtual game-like worlds can have on the trillion-dollar retail industry was recently demonstrated during Metaverse Fashion Week. This entirely virtual experience was held from March 24th to 27th, 2022 in Decentraland, a decentralized virtual social platform on the Ethereum blockchain. The online event attracted more than 70 brands. Tommy Hilfiger, you guys know, it's not me, it's Tommy. Estee Lauder, which, did you know the Lauder family is one of the top 10 richest families in America? Interesting. Philip Plein, no idea who that is. Selfridges and, is it Selfridges or Selfridges? I don't know. And Dolce and Gabbana. Let's see here. I bought some designer shoes yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I bought some Jordans. Those are designer shoes. I got some Yeezys, but then we got some, bought some red bottoms. Bought some Louboutins
for
and a couple pairs of Gucci shoes. Yeah. They're nice. I don't really have dress shoes. Yeah. I try not to wear dress shoes. So I got a nice pair. So what happens? The Gucci slides are uncomfortable, I'll tell you. My foot's not built for a slide, I don't think. They eat into your skin there at the top where the slide slides on. Avery Baker, president and chief brand of Tommy, told Cointelleye the Tommy Hilfiger brand has been curious about new trends and technologies, especially those that allow the label to connect with consumers in a unique way. And it makes sense that the high-level fashion designer wants to get involved in metaverse because as they see where this is going and people are starting to care more about pictures and video game costumes than what they're wearing in real life, makes sense that this would be the frontier that they would want to be breaking into. So Tommy is really bullish. This is a fireside chat in Decentraland with Tommy Hilfiger down there. There he is. Everybody thought he was racist, but I don't think he was. That's what they say. That was the big urban legend when we were, like in middle school. That was the thing. Everybody had to stop wearing Tommy because he was racist. I don't know if it really happened or not, but Tommy certainly made a comeback. Look at that. Would you wear that
in the metaverse?
Yeah, it looks like he's wearing a croissant.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Shoes are all right.
Yeah, shoes are pretty tight. Let's see, 3,000 attendees. That's pretty good. We should have checked that out. Blah 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 blah.
I wonder if the Meta Money guys were there.
Yeah, that's right. And also, guys, make sure to do us a favor. We didn't tell you this. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like button.
Yeah.
Number one thing you can do as a member of the BitSquad to help out the community. I know a lot of you guys are coming back. You've been out of crypto for a couple months. You're coming back in. Make sure to smash that like button so we get more of this crypto content. YouTube has been, censoring isn't the right word, but YouTube has been not showing crypto content as much to the audience because the audience hasn't been as interested in it. So smashing the like button is a way you can say, let's get these markets going back in the right direction. New Will Smith slap token explodes 10,000% after Oscar's whacking.
Whacking?
Wow, I didn't know that happened. Who else is buying? And I did watch the super slow-mo version of this. And super slow-mo always is a little wonky because it's kind of like in baseball when they do the super slow-mo on a replay. Like the guy may slide off the base like just a little bit. You could never possibly see it in real life. Like his t-shirt or his jersey, like just flaps off of it when he's sliding over for a moment. In the super slow-mo, you can see it. You would never see it with the naked eye. So I'm not 100% that, the super slow-mo of this, we can really trust it, but it certainly looks like in the super slow-mo that Chris Rock sees this coming from a mile away and starts moving back, To think that Will Smith is going to walk up there and hit you, it is a little, I don't know. Maybe change my opinion, maybe more open to it was staged. And we do continue to talk about the Oscars here on the Bitcoin Crypto YouTube channel, which has certainly never happened before. So there's a token for it now, profiting from the Will Smith slap. Shortly after the Oscars, a coin dubbed Will Smith in you. I'm going to leave that alone. Began trading, I don't want to get slapped, on decentralized market, Uniswap, Ethereum-based Will Smith Inu coin exploded to 10,000%, a rally following the live assault. Now, we got to find out if the token was created before the slap. That's the smoking gun. Let's see. However, coin has subsequently lost the majority of its value. No. Somebody pump and dumped Will Smith Inu? Will Smith Inu, a pump and dump story. Oh, man. I mean, anything that happens in the world, people are going to try to make an Inu coin about it. Do not buy meme coins, folks. Like, it's a good way to lose your money. The people who made money on this 10,000% pump were the people that created it. That's it. Nobody would invest in the slap token DAO. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If it sounds like a joke, you should probably not put money into it. That's a good general rule when it comes to crypto.
Kind of a big breaking story that's been going on right now since we've been live is the Axie Infinity hack.
Oh,
624 million exploit. If you just Google Axie Infinity hack and go to news, there's a CoinDesk article from about 30 minutes ago.
They put anything out on their tweet? Important announcement regarding a security breach on the Ronin network.
Ronin network, yeah.
Now that's a test net, right? That's not the actual Ethereum network.
Not Ethereum, no.
Oh wait, what is Axie Infinity on?
It is on Ethereum, yeah, but it's not the Ethereum. It is on Ethereum. Ronin is not the main network.
Let's see. The Ronin Bridge.
Yeah.
The Ronin Bridge and Katana DEX. Okay, so the Ronin network is, let me look this up real quick. The Ronin network, because I want to tell you guys exactly what this is.
I think it's a side chain.
Ronin network. Let's see. Ronin network. Here it is. It unlocks hypergrowth for NFT games, currently powering the Axie Infinity Digital Nation. What will you build?
I think it's a side
Katana
chain.
is its DEX. I think we were invested in that, or are invested in it, like through private sale, maybe. I think we were at some point if it's the same one. Ronin Bridge has been exploited for 173,600 Ethereum, $25 million in USDC.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. They're working with law enforcement. So basically, to understand what a bridge is basically what makes two chains interoperable with each other to where another chain can function on, on a different chain. So like, there's going to be a bridge from, Polkadot back to Ethereum. You're going to have, I know Fuse or Fusion is a project that we were involved in one time at one point, and they had a bridge, and I had to learn how to use it. It was quite complicated. You were basically...
A lot of people have probably used Polygon, they bridge, Maddox network.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good example. Is that technically a bridge?
Bridge to it. A poly network.
A bridge is kind of like a DEX. A bridge looks very similar to a regular DEX. And you basically are swapping coins through synthetic assets and usually test nets, through a test net onto the actual network. That's at least my experience with actually using one. It was very complicated. And that was a custom network. So Ronin network is probably a custom network that you probably have to type in manually if you're using one of those bridges. So another reason to support Thorchain and Rune, that's from Jason Ibrahim. Let's see. Do I hate Vitalik for being born in Canada? No. We love people born in Canada. Let's see. Shania Twain, Canadian. I'm trying to think of famous Canadians.
Justin Bieber.
Robin Thicke. Robin Thicke's got to be one of the greatest Canadians. He's a huge star in Canada. He passed away recently, I think. I'm trying to see if anybody else is commenting about this. Why does Ben sound like Jadakiss today? Well, money, power, respect. I guess that's what you got to have, So anyways, moving back to this story, this is pretty crazy. So much money was stolen in this. Don't know how it's going to affect the users yet. They've temporarily paused the Ronin bridge. Binance has disabled their bridge to and from Ronin. I just wonder, is Ronin specifically for Axie Infinity, and that's really their main use right now, or is anything else using them? Certainly heard of it before, maybe just in a conversation that we've been.
Can you pull that CoinDesk article has a lot of the information I think you're looking for.
Well, this is it right here.
Okay.
This is all the information about the hack, Q&A style. Our funds on Ronin at risk. Even USDC deposits have been drained. We're working with law enforcement as a top priority. As of now, users are unable to withdraw or deposit funds. So I'm sure they have big enough money here so that if they aren't able to recover any of this, that they can cover it. I mean, Axie Infinity has a lot of money, obviously. But I don't know who this is on. Is it on Axie Infinity to, replace the money? Is it on the Ronin network to replace the money? These are things we'll have to see. But this is what I'll tell you. Let me tell you this. We are probably going to see, how can you actually use this information today? Let's go look at the Axie Infinity price and see what it's doing right now. Down 5%. It is probably going to, look at the drop. Look at the drop here. It's probably going to drop a lot more as this news breaks. Remember when we were talking about Thorchain earlier, okay? Robin Thicke, I meant to say Alan Thicke, his dad. Alan Thicke is the big star in Canada, much bigger star than his son, Robin. Robin's a star in his own right. But yeah, I meant Alan Thicke, the dad from Growing Pains. That's what I meant. But when we were talking about Thorchain earlier, the biggest opportunity in Thorchain was after the hack.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, we'll probably see the same thing. We will probably see Axie Infinity. It dropped another 2% just since I've been having it pulled up here. This is probably going to drop 15 to 20%. if this thing gets down below $50, I would be gobbling this thing up. Usually these are quick rebounds. If they came out and announced that there were no customer funds were going to end up being actually lost, it would go back up. Then they'll fix the problem, figure out what it is so it doesn't happen again. Unfortunately, when you're on the cutting edge of technology, these things, they do happen. So definitely interesting. This could be a really good opportunity to load up on some Axie Infinity if you're trying to get something in the gaming niche, in the NFT niche. Could be a great opportunity. Usually the best opportunities come out of some of the absolute craziest situations. So as a Canadian, I know nothing about Alan Thicke from Matt Shea. He was a big news guy. I think he had a news show, and then he did Growing Pains.
Matt Shea's probably young.
Yeah, he probably is.
Alan Thicke.
He probably knows Robin Thicke.
Previous generation.
Do Kwon keeps stacking Bitcoin, so Terra keeps soaring. So Terra makes a new all-time high. It's re-entered price discovery with a jump to $106. Terra's been in the crypto spotlight over the past week after the Luna Foundation outlined its plans to increase its Bitcoin reserves to $3 billion with a long-term view building to $10 billion. The Luna Foundation guard, the LF chief, is that a joke? Do you think they did that on purpose?
100%.
Yeah, I think you're right. The LFG has been making daily Bitcoin purchases in bulk batches of $125 million. On-chain data shows that LFG purchased another 2,800 Bitcoin. They're trying to provide deep liquidity when UST PEG is under pressure. That's their Terra stablecoin. The most recent purchase coincides with a notable uptick in the crypto market. Is Do Kwon the tether of 2022 here? Is he the entire reason for the Bitcoin pump, like people say Tether was in 2017? I don't think so, but definitely seems to be helping. He tweeted, I am once again asking you to short BTC. He tweeted alongside the popular Bernie Sanders, I am once again asking meme early Tuesday. Crypto is the most fun when the memes are driving the market. I love that. Okay, so Terra Luna, big opportunity, possibly see it in price discovery. Let's move on here and talk about XRP. Bitcoiners scoff at Chris Larson's $5 million campaign to force a BTC code change. The Ripple chairman and allies at Greenpeace seem to assume all it takes for a fundamental change to Bitcoin's code is getting 50 firms and developers on board. It is very complicated to make this happen. I don't know if that number is accurate or not. That may actually be an accurate number, but getting all of those people to actually agree is a very, very, very tall task. They couldn't even agree on a block size that seemed to be very obvious that it was the right thing to do. Then they moved over, the people that wanted the bigger block size moved to Bitcoin Cash. It forked. Bitcoin Cash, been kind of a disaster. So not saying that, that's going to win because it's got bigger blocks, but it is faster than regular Bitcoin. They couldn't even agree on something that was definitely a good change because they're so strict adherence to the Bitcoin white paper these firms are. And that's why it's going to take a miracle to get them to ever change over to proof of work, to proof of stake from proof of work. Michael Saylor on an interview on our channel discussed this at length, why he thinks it will never happen. Chris Larson, co-founder of Ripple, and Greenpeace USA advocate, or he's the chairman of the Greenpeace USA, said that he would advocate for a code change. I think this was a year ago that he actually wrote this. Wall Street Journal first reported the news late of Monday. This is something that we talked about, that it is possible. You guys need to understand, this is possible. It's not probable, but it is possible that Bitcoin could end up being forced to change to proof of stake or another consensus, method down the road, due to the insane calls from the, the climate crazies, if you will, people that say Bitcoin's destroying the environment and yet they have their air conditioning jacked up. That's something that is possible, though. It's getting, in my opinion, a smaller and smaller likelihood as we are looking at Bitcoin mining becoming much more, prevalent in the United States and other places as well. Russia pushing to legalize it. I just think ultimately the net positive of Bitcoin is, completely outweighs the negative of the carbon footprint and the green impact that it has. So the point is that people now hate Chris Larson for saying this. And they're killing him the same way they killed me for saying that it's possible. He's actually advocating for it. I do not advocate. I don't want that to happen. So that is a little bit of a difference.
I saw a good tweet by, you want to guess who tweeted it? Who do I usually read?
Eric Voorhees.
Eric Voorhees. Yeah, my favorite.
I'll come to UK one day.
He had a good opinion, I'm sure in response, probably somewhat in response to this. He said, I'm very open-minded to proof of stake as an alternative consensus mechanism to proof of work, not because it's quote-unquote better, but because it's different costs / benefits, different attack surfaces, etc. But no, Bitcoin should not consider it, and there's zero interest among Bitcoiners for it. And that's kind of like what you were alluding to. It can happen if the Bitcoiners and the core developers and the miners all decide that they think they want to move to proof of stake. It's possible, but they have no interest in it. They've shown no interest in it, and it probably at this point isn't what's best for the Bitcoin blockchain. However, that doesn't mean it's an end-all, be-all. Only one consensus mechanism should exist. There is place for more than one.
This is a really interesting tweet right here on this subject from Noelle Acheson. I have no idea who she is, but I'm sure she's great. I'm not trying to demean her. But she said what they don't seem to understand, any change to Bitcoin would involve a fork, which means the original will still exist. And most likely, will choose the original precisely because of its proof of work security and its resilience to change. And, I do probably agree that this would definitely be an issue. But I'd also say if it got to the point where it was almost forced, I don't know what would make it be forced to happen, but we see governments and the elites force things to happen all the time. I don't know how many people could really hold out against this, but this certainly would occur. There certainly would be some people that kept the original chain. It would be a fork. So that is a very, very interesting tweet and very interesting opinion. I think what it boils down to is I think Chris Larson is probably also a climate crazy. I would say he's probably one of these people pushing this. He probably cares, and he doesn't have vested interest in Bitcoin like he does in XRP, obviously. So I think he probably, if he's the chairman for Greenpeace, that probably says it all. I actually don't know what Greenpeace is. It's like a climate organization, right?
I would assume it's
right. It's not like a military, force or something like that. It's not the Peace Corps.
No, I think it's Independent Global Campaigning Network. That's what it says on the Google. 26
Green's in the name, right? So
yeah, Greenpeace is an independent global campaigning network. The network comprises 26 independent national / regional organizations in over 55 countries across wherever. I'm sure they campaign for climate change.
Let's see. Greenpeace USA. Join the fight for our planet right here. So it is all green. I just want to make sure before I got too far into this. But he probably is. There are people at every level of the world who, are into this. And, Chris Larson probably has some vested interest in some other types of, probably solar products and stuff like that would be beneficial if this were to happen. The whole entire climate uproar is all about money. I'm telling you, it's all about money. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying that we haven't affected the earth. We certainly have, and I'm glad we're taking steps to clean stuff up here and there for sure. But it's mostly about money. It's just like anything else. This is the new oil. This is the new oil rush, the new gold rush. It's crypto, but it's also the climate change policies and the companies that are coming out of that, because oil is not going to be used in 100 years. So we're seeing that transition occur. So much of this is about money. And this is probably why he's saying that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%.
So here's Ripple's take on what is key to understanding NFT collectors. And I have been teasing, we are going to be doing XRP NFTs. They are going to be insane. That's what I'm going to say. They're going to have the biggest utility, the greatest utility, maybe not the biggest, the greatest utility you've ever seen. It's going to lead to what will be, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. The biggest event in crypto history. There, I said it. I said it. The biggest event in crypto history. We're going to lead that. So we'll be telling you more about that the next few months. The entry and ascent of NFTs have completely changed the shape of the crypto industry. Now, NFT creators, collectors, and analysts desperately want to understand the day's trends so they can ensure the best possible returns on their investment. To that end, Ripple's 2022 report on crypto trends revealed a lot about the booming asset. One fascinating takeaway from the report is that users across international regions often buy NFTs for vastly different reasons. For example, while most survey respondents answered that they would want to buy NFTs for a functional reason or utility, 3 times the number of Asia-Pacific-based customers said they would buy NFTs to celebrate a milestone in their life. It's interesting. APAC customers, that's the Asian Pacific region, also expressed more interest in buying NFTs to support a celeb or brand. And I will tell you, when I was in the Philippines, there was, and I can't speak to all people that are, Filipino, but in the place where I was, there was definitely a lot of kind of like celebrity worship. You see it with Manny Pacquiao over there for sure. Like he was like, I think he owned a professional basketball team in the Philippines and he played, and he's awful at basketball. Like he's really bad, but he owned the team and he played and people loved it. That's the kind of guy he is. How many big Filipino stars do you know, TJ?
None.
Well, Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao, the one you just named, but that's it.
That's probably it. But I mean, they do, he was like I don't think he was their president, but he's a very high-ranking political official as well over there. That lines up with kind of what I saw when I was over there, in the Philippines. There was a lot of glorification of Americans as well. I remember there was a mall that I went to, and Dickies was just getting popular at that time. I'd actually never even heard of Dickies at that time. And there was a store that had a Dickies store or Dickies sign out front, and it said, Dickies, it's what the Americans wear. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
I was like, no, they don't. But they do now, but they didn't then. So don't say but. That being said, the widespread adoption comes with a rise in complaints. Both traditional and digital artists have accused the NFT marketplace, OpenSea, of enabling art theft and not doing enough to tackle stolen work minted as NFTs. Meanwhile, organizations trying to adopt NFTs have also faced a backlash. This is what I'll say about OpenSea. There is a platform coming that solves all of OpenSea's problems. Solves all of them. And adds even more. There's an NFT platform coming that is going to single-handedly crush OpenSea. They're not going to be able to compete. You guys will see that down the road. But exciting stuff going on with new NFT platforms coming out. So anyways, guys, that is all we've got for that. Binance announcing release of feature that supports and converts almost all Ethereum tokens. Indian state government using Polygon for caste certificates. That's like, isn't the caste, like, it's what level of citizen you are? Like what level of society? That's a caste system. You're not allowed to get above this. They have certificates that tell them what class of society they are. That's insane. Maybe somebody from India can clarify that, but that is what the caste system is you're born into a level of citizenship and you don't ever move above that. So I've never been to India, so I don't know how that actually plays out, but that is what a caste system is. Bosnian court sides with Bitcoin miner and frozen Bitcoin. ETF provider Wisdom Tree launching Solana, Cardano, Polkadot ETPs. Those are exchange-traded products, kind of similar to ETFs. And then that's it. Those are all the stories for today. Q&A. Do a couple.
All right. Q&A. I can't move the rundown, by the way. If you're
That's okay.
Wondering. Damon from YouTube asked, I missed the Luna boat. What is a good entry price in your opinion? Because we kind of missed it too. So this will be I'll be interested to hear what you think.
Well, let's look it up.
I mean, if it's all-time high right now, my gut would say, you don't want to buy off a pump, but if it can flip this and hold it into support.
It kind of reminds me of what Solana did right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bit.
The timing though, like if we're we're very bullish into the summer, you're going to want some exposure to Terra because it's probably going to be one of the favorites.
I'll be honest with you. I would be looking around $90 to $95.
Yeah.
Because the momentum feels very strong. And if you look here at CoinMarketCap, if you look at the chart here, that is the last year for Terra Luna. you can basically see the last time it had a big run up, it had a little pullback. Let's actually use a better example. Back here, had a big pullback here,
Just do
shot back up. When it
year-
breaks all-time highs, like every time it's broken an all-time high, it's moved up higher. And
it's pretty easy to see on year to date that 95 is a pretty solid line. It's kind of the top.
The support's actually like right between 87 and 90.
Yeah.
But that support is rising a little bit. You can see back here, it only got down to $90. So this is what I'm going to say. Unless this chart ends up looking like the Bitcoin chart from 2022, where we just barely inched up in the second leg of that run, most likely I think Terra is going much higher, but it's got to have a pullback. It looks like today might be a day we get a pullback in general, as we got this Axie Infinity news and some other stuff going on. We need the market to cool off a little bit to really make the next big push up to 51,000. So I will be honest though, like I don't hate buying Terra where it is right now. I don't hate it. It's probably not optimal, but I don't hate it because now that it's pierced new all-time highs, probably going to go a pretty good bit higher.
Can you direct deposit part of your paycheck into crypto to make DCA easier? Yes, we
It's
can.
Digifox, right?
Digifox, yep. It's Nicholas Merton. Data Dash has a product that makes it very easy, very low fees, very efficient. I know you can DCA into Bitcoin with it. I think it has a few alts like Ethereum as well. But yeah, that's
Digifox.com.
Digifox.com. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. We love Nicholas Merton. I'm telling you, anything that guy touches is going to turn to gold because he's a really great guy. He works really hard. He knows, I would argue more about crypto than anybody. So, I think Digifox is probably a pretty solid bet if you're looking for a way to do that with your paycheck. Swan Bitcoin for Bitcoin only also, you can put part of your paycheck there as well.
Yep, that's a good one. Is that a chain 2 frame product displaying your NFTs on your desk, or is it a standard digital frame loaded with images? I believe it's a standard digital frame.
Is it?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's an NFT specific. Like that's not pulling metadata from the blockchain.
No, it's just Sylvania. It's just a regular.
Which you guys, we know we have all those NFTs, obviously. It's not, I have a feeling a lot of these digital projects, you'll be able to add stuff like that in the future. You're not going to need hardware specific to the blockchain in the future.
Yeah, the important thing is you can show the ownership of it.
Right.
Like, if you own it, then, you can certainly, I'm actually getting 3 TVs installed vertically into my cabinets in my basement, in my house that we're building, in the kitchen area in the basement. And we're going to display my Bored Ape, my CryptoPunk, and probably my Mutant Ape, or maybe one of my Pluto Alliance there on a TV. It's just going to be a regular TV, but I own it. I can show you I own it if I had to. So it's one of those things. It's like, do you own it? It's a yes or no question. Like, did you right click save or do you own it? You can right click save, put it on a picture frame and still own it, but you just want to be able to show that you own it. That's where the ownership comes in aspect of things. So, maybe only it is what it is. Do you think people are going to flex CryptoPunks and Bored Apes in their apartment in New York or something like that they don't really have to impress people? You think that's a thing that would impress
that they don't
a woman
have?
Or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. People will fake it. I think you're going to see less actual flexing from people that really own it. I saw somebody say, if you think I'm going to be rocking Bored Ape merch after this ape token drop, and everybody knows I just got airdropped $1 million worth of this token, and I'm a pretty big target for, basically getting mugged, robbed. They said, forget about it. So it will be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that stuff develops.
I ain't scared.
Crypto Brenda said she would not forgive me if I didn't ask, is that a silk shirt?
Silk? I don't know. You want to come look?
No.
I don't know how to tell.
I'll just say no.
I don't think it is.
I think you would know if it was a silk shirt.
We're buying. Well, this isn't really. I'm not trying to flex, but we're trying to get more designer clothes, so more nicer things.
Yeah.
Because I just want to wear nicer things. Like when I go to Miami.
I think if it was silk, we'd see your nipples. So it's probably not.
So the whole idea when we kind of changed what we were wearing on the channel was like we were going to go like layers. You know, I was going to wear like a shirt or a jacket over it, but then it's too hot. So we're kind of having to punt that idea. We're going to go, we're not going back to the full flamingo shirts, but you're going to see like kind of a happy medium.
Everybody likes that happy medium.
Does it match the underwear?
No. There's no underwear. Do you think this is part of the BTC pump, or do you think part of this BTC pump is due to the excitement around the Bitcoin conference? If so, will we continue to pump or dump after? That's from Pun Any Vapor.
It's a great question. And you have to keep in your mind that that is a possibility. Crypto Keeper talked about it on the show from Debate Crypto on YouTube. He talked about it on Around the Blockchain yesterday about how we could see like a fake out pump from the excitement around the conference. We generally do see a pump around the conference. Last year, it did not happen because Elon Musk dumped the price of Bitcoin with some tweets the night before the conference was supposed to start. So we didn't get it last year. We did get a huge one in 2019. Around Consensus used to be the big crypto conference every year. There was almost always a consensus pump. If you go back to 2019, what really makes that situation interesting is, yes, it was exactly during the time of the Bitcoin 2019 conference. However, there was also I think the fourth biggest Ponzi scheme in history. Plus Token and OneCoin are in the top 5 of Ponzi schemes of all time. I can't remember which one was selling off. I think it was Plus Token that was selling off after that pump. They basically, the price pumped. It was a huge Ponzi scheme in China when all of these retail investors were buying Bitcoin to send into Plus Token. It raised the price dramatically. You can look at the dates and match it up. And then they started dumping all of it. The people that ran it, the scammers, they stole everybody's money, and then they started selling it. So you could make an argument that actually we might have been starting to see in 2019, similar to what we're seeing now, is that a little uncharacteristic pump surrounding, kind of the middle of the bear market time frame, but the Plus Token scam ruined it. Some people will tell you that. Or was it just a conference pump and we're going to see the same thing? I think there can be an argument made either direction. So definitely, though, the main thing I just want you guys to understand is keep in mind, this is very exciting. Prices are going up. We're all having a great time. But keep in mind, this is not over yet. You know, there still is a chance we go back down. I just wanted you guys to, remain cautious. Don't put all your money in at any price point. Make sure to diversify your entry points. All right, guys, that's all we got for today's show. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed. Bye-bye.